Hey guys, Jordy here, welcome back. Today is gonna be the first video in a new series that we're calling All the Things in 3 Minutes, and it's where we talk about all sorts of things, but we do it in 3 minutes. First up, Loop Community's new Prime pads. Go. Our setup today is I'm using my iPhone 6s Plus. Plugged into that is the HOSA 1/8" breakout cable plugged directly into the Zoom H6, and you're hearing the pads in all of their stereo gloriousness today. So there are links to all the things we're going to talk about in today's video in the description below, plus links to the free Worship Tech Tools pads, which you can watch a video on linked down there as well. And then also a link to the Loop Community Prime pads that we're talking about here. So once you buy the pads, they load into your Prime cloud just like any other song would in Prime. And the first thing that I think is really cool is that you still get the ability to change the key. You do get 2 full steps just like every other Prime song, or 4 half steps in either direction above or below the key that you purchased. I think that's really cool. And I guess the reason they don't go further than that is that maybe the sound of the track or pad starts to be degraded after that much pitch shifting. So I think that's really cool that they still include that. So you can get a lot of use out of that one key, even though they actually sell 6 different keys of the pad. So something that you're going to want to be aware of is, and this is probably my biggest complaint with these pads, is that you can't use the metronome. You can't use Prime's metronome when you're using the pad. And to make matters worse, in testing with both my iPhone 6s Plus and my iPad Air 2, there's some white noise that comes out of the left side or click side of the app. It's not something you're probably going to notice, or at least I haven't noticed it yet in a live environment, but in this kind of environment that we would hear today, if I were running it in pan mode, you would hear it, but we're in stereo, so you're actually just hearing good, clean stereo pad sounds. So if you're going to be using these pads, you want to make other arrangements for your click, which kind of sucks. So once it loads up, you'll notice you get 12 stems of layers of texture and effects, plus you get the 5th and 3rd note of the chord, which I think is pretty killer too. And just like any other song, you can adjust the levels of every sound, turn sounds totally off if you want to, and then solo as you're trying to figure out what's doing what. And so quickly, here's what the one I have dialed up here sounds like. So there's a quick example, and I've been using these pad sounds in a live environment, and I think they sound really, really good. I love that you can dial in a big, massive pad sound, or if you want something a little more subtle, you can just mix it for that as well. And you can do it as many times as you want to in your set list. Quick pro tip is that since most of us don't need 10 minutes of an ambient pad, which they include, what I typically do is I use the end marker to go in and adjust where I want the pad to start to fade out. And I'll just do like a really long fade, like a 10-second fade, so the pad just fades out underneath the band and I don't have to worry about using my expression pedal or anything like that. So the great sounding pads, great tool from Loop Community. Not surprised they have really great resources. The Prime app's free, which I think is just crazy. And I hope they continue to do stuff like this and support this app because it rules. So that's the video. If you don't want to pay for pads and you want free ones, check out the Worship Tech Tools pads. They are legitimately free. You can pick them up from theworshiptechtools.com. And again, links to all the things we talked about in today's video in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video.